Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the world, and welcome back to the channel with me, Disco, coming at you with another set of live stream beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here at the bar. What I'm still nostalgically calling the Disco Arms, and spot the obvious mistake. If anybody watches, I'll go and edit it out later maybe, but yes, put the wrong picture in the intro, but at least I got around to doing an intro. That's what happens when you rush. I swear it uploaded the latest one. But yes, good evening, one and all. Thank you for popping in. If you are joining us on a Monday night for Monday Club, got a set of free beers. Blue Nose, Harry, welcome. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a great start to the week. We had a great weekend. Maybe got a beer on as well. Henry was in earlier. Looking forward to the Anspach and Hobday beer. Yes, me too. Me too. A collab with Salopian. Really kind of strange stuff. Let's start off though. Long, kind of not quite stories to tell today. Let's start off with beer number one. Talking to the thing. Beer number one, please. So I'm going to crack straight on. A two beer number one to get out into a glass. It is indeed, as the banner will say in just a moment, from probably a fairly recognisable little logo, Mad Squirrel. It's called Post Rider, and it's starting fairly light because I've had a few beers this afternoon as it is. I don't know if anybody was looking at the Instagram earlier, but yeah, had a few festive pints, so I'm starting light. Not for, you know, no need for me to start light. It's just what was in the can, and this was kind of relevant. So I thought I'd do this one. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Let's do the can balance. And the photo, as in traditional, if you've never seen this show before, you might wonder what on earth I'm doing. Well, I'm just going to do the picture for Instagram with the can balance. Do bear with me a second whilst I'll step straight off camera. And do a little photograph. These things amuse me. This is a bit awkward. I've kind of got to go around thing in the way. All right, let's try that. That's better. Yeah, that'll do. It's not great, but it'll do. So yeah, 3.4%, kind of light. I kind of chose this one because I did intend to go out for a bit of a cycle this afternoon. So post ride, it says at the top there Volt, which is Volt electric bikes. I'm trying kind of tie up. That's real quite good doing tie ups. They've got loads of little ones. They did one with Taskmaster recently as well, which they mostly just rebadged lagers and the pale ales. But there you go. Advent calendar beers in a freezer. Live stream view in 40 minutes or so. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it down now. Under the hour, so it should be R08. I'll come and have a look in afterwards. It's just the Mr. Foyles ones. I've been enjoying them. And I did say I might do that something similar this year. I've not got around to it. Still a bit of time. I could do a 12 set. I've got too many beers in the stash though. And I probably know the beers. Might get somebody to buy some extra 12 and do the 12 days of Christmas. Not sure. Right, yeah, so I was meant to go out for a cycle ride today, but the shop I was going to turns out doesn't open on a Monday. So I decided instead on a long walk, spot a lunch and stop at the local Wetherspoons. Didn't get this from Wetherspoons, although they do. Mad Squirrel are in Wetherspoons in their kind of craft fridge. You got that one there. I'm looking forward to that one at the end as well. It's kind of a weird tie-up that I was asking the question when I bought it, just how, I don't know, how does that work? I don't know. Anspach and Hobday know the guy from Salopian or vice versa, or do they just get on the phone and go, yeah, lads, fancy a collab? It's some of the opposite ends of the country, kind of east and west. But yeah, these things amuse me, how these things tie up. So yeah, 3.4% Nectaron Pale Ale. Now, another little story for you. I was out and about the other day, last week, and I was up in Hemel Hempstead a couple of times. I had an hour to kill waiting. So I popped over the tap room, had a little drop of this. It was kind of weird because they serve it in shots, kind of a shot glass, which is their tasters, which is interesting. But this is kind of a beer that would work as a shot. Let me see if I can recreate that. Nice tropical hoppy aroma, but not too hoppy, if you know what I mean. You know, I'm going to say no kind of grapefruit on the nose, but some kind of fruity juiciness. That's what I remember from last week. Cheers. Nice and bright and kind of fruity, juicy. Smells good. Cheers. This might be a thing. My boss always goes on at me about going on about grapefruit. He thinks I might have confused me stone fruits a little bit. I always say this hop couch as stone fruits, but then I don't always get things like peach and apricot and nectarine. But I don't really get grapefruit with this one, but it is some kind of sort of stone fruit. Nectaron is a hop I don't really know too much about because I've not yet done a single hop series of beers. I should do to kind of learn more about hop additions to beers and what different hops bring. I don't drink like that. I generally avoid stuff with hop in the name, but I always also say as a beer reviewer, you kind of should maybe give these things a go, or I should. Everybody else does. I just should. I generally avoid anything that specifically mentions hops. I'm fairly certain I'm generally much more towards adjuncts than hops. A lot of people say and moan about having adjuncts in beers. I'm fine with it if it brings something more interesting. Because for years, you know, even the traditional beers, you know, not a fan of like Kentish hops because they bring that kind of earthiness. So I've always avoided any kind of pale ales that specifically mention hops. I prefer much more balance. This one definitely has that hop note, but it's not quite grapefruit, which is good. It's a pretty decent beer anyway. Nice and light, but hazy, fairly full-bodied. Tell you what it's like. It's like I keep saying Robinson's barley water a lot, and that's what it's like. They do a peach one, or rather the one I drink, the knockoff Robinson's barley water. As a peach one, it's very kind of similar. So there's kind of a lot of peach in there. Feels like a little bit of tangerine, kind of citrus note. Yeah, it's done in combination with Volt Bike, so it's kind of meant to be like a kind of refresher, I suppose, after going for a strenuous ride, which I managed to fail to do today because I had 40 odd minutes left on a line bike pass and I was going to go and do an half-hour ride just to go to this shop, G-Shop. I'll do that tomorrow instead. But yeah, by the time I fannied about and did other stuff and put the stream up, they'd run out, so I didn't end up going for a cycle ride. But by then, at that time, I'd already put this beer up. But also, I called the stream latest beers because, like I say, this is one of the latest beers in my stash. I put the post up on Instagram over the weekend because I didn't actually pick these up till last week. Say it's not a beer delivery because I actually went and got them from the tap room. And had a little cheeky little swift one of this, so that's why I wanted to do this one just to kind of check that what I thought I tasted the other day at the tap room is the same, and it kind of is. Let's see, kind of juicy, fruity note. So quite pleased. It is light in ABV, but not particularly light in flavour. I'm generally kind of a fan of Mad Squirrel. Having tried a lot of their beers, I tell you what I haven't seen from Mad Squirrel for a while was their kind of cream stout, the Della range, either Della Nut or Della Creme, and all the other variants, the hazelnut and stuff. I haven't seen them for a while, but on the back of that, I'm always on the lookout for Mad Squirrel, because they do, as well as, kind of as usual, bunch of regular, as in every other brewery does, a pale ale, a pilsner. I say tied down their stouts. They do some kind of unusual, interesting one, and it's always pretty good artwork. And as I said before, I do buy sometimes because the artwork looks kind of fun. Something to talk about if I'm doing reviews, because now I generally drink by what I'm going to review, what I want to talk about. Although I do have a few beers in just for drinking purposes. And it's just occurred to me, because it's with Volt Electric Bikes, they're kind of little plug sockets, I think. Would you say? So I think they are anyway. Yeah, little plug sockets in black and white. Not the funkiest artwork, but kind of relevant. Talking of which, this is not an unboxing as such, because I didn't get them in a box. They just came back in a bag. I've got some others there. This one, 4.5% American Amber, called Amberillo. I'm guessing some Amarillo hop in there. And this one is a very rare one I pick up. It's called Sabronado, a Sabro and Lime sour. Now, can't really see that. Can't like the artwork on that green colour can. Yeah, because it specifically mentions Sabro, which is not my worst hop by any means, but I never really get Sabro. I know what it's meant to do, but yeah, I never quite get it. So that's kind of me acquiescing slightly and going towards hops. I'll give it a go. Also got this one, Dark Tides, a Baltic Porter. Kind of light for a Baltic Porter, I think 5.6%. But again, had a little swift taster at the tap room last week. And yeah, quite a solid, slightly light porter. So I might not ever get around to reviewing that one. That might just be for reference purposes for me. But this is one I kind of went for. And because I saw it only came out last week, this is the most up-to-date beer, I guess, because these have all been out at some time. Viennese Swirl, vanilla and chocolate stout. I did think about doing that tonight, but because I kind of liked it so much, I kind of want to get a video out on it. I want to do a review, but I've got 4 other beers I really want to put on a video review, and I'm just struggling with time, which is why I'm doing the live. So in order not to have the 3 that I've selected sitting in the stash for too long, I'm just bunging it on a live, calling it the latest beers, and these are the 3 latest kind of not beer stash, beer haul, I suppose we call it, don't we? Got a couple of them. But yeah, so yeah, Mad Squirrel. What does anybody think about Mad Squirrel? Let me know. Lovely little tap room up at Hemel Hempstead, and I did on the previous occasion pop to their other. It's not really a tap room. It's called Crazy Goat, and it's a coffee shop up at Leverstock Green, just to the north of Hemel Hempstead itself. But they've got a bar at the back, which is, I don't know, run by or just supplied by Mad Squirrel, but they've got Mad Squirrel branding all over the place. Now, unfortunately, because I was there in the morning, I didn't stop for a beer there. I didn't pick up any cans there either, because they were all at tap room. So, but yeah, really nice little kind of country village green kind of thing. Fantastic bakery next door as well, with some very decent sausage rolls, some pastries I picked up for kind of late breakfast and a cup of coffee whilst I was hanging around for an hour or so. So yeah, whether I get around to reviewing all of those at any point soon or not this side of Christmas is anybody's guess. But this one, I say, at 3.4%. Touch of pineapple there now, maybe. Very hint of grapefruit and pine. It's becoming a lot more earthy now as well, without actually being grapefruit, which is kind of weird. Nice sticky, kind of slightly jammy sweetness. Not going to guess Guess the hops. Not going to guess there's any other kind of hops. Maybe it's just a single hop. Let's have a look. First of all, as is usual. Best before May 26, just to confirm. I suspect, well, I would hope that all three of tonight's beers are well in date, unusually for me. So Mad Squirrel say about this beer, let's get it in the light. Mad Squirrel and Volt are back with a second electric collaboration. I thought I'd seen it before. Post Rider is a zippy pale ale built for flavour and fun. Powered by Nectaron hops, it whizzes past with tropical fruit, citrus zest, and juicy stone fruit vibes. I hate the word vibes, but I do find myself using it a lot, and well, it kind of works, doesn't it? Light on the legs, but big on taste. It's the perfect pit stop pint for riders, roamers, and anyone chasing a delicious finish line. Yep, just says hops Nectaron. Again, part of that, the packaging. I love the fact that they put the actual hops on the back. You've got to search for it, but it's there. A nice description. Love the fronts with the Mad Squirrel logo, beer name, and they're pretty good on beer style and ABV on there as well. And even got space on the top for other people's logos. What does it say around the top? There's a little bit of a messaging around the top there. Or maybe naturally hazy, unfiltered for maximum flavour, suitable for vegans. Yeah, no, definitely very hazy. Love that. Love the haze. Hey, peer reviews. Welcome along. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a decent start to the week. And you had a great weekend as well. Let us know if you've got anybody else got a beer on. If you're watching after the event, let us know if you had a beer on whilst you're watching it. There's a slight wateriness, only very, very slight. Not massively carbonated. The head has dissipated, but yeah, lots of light, kind of peachy, slightly peachy stone fruit, bit of tangerine, like I say, on the citrus rind. Yeah, plenty juiciness. As like I say, there's a little bit of pine creeping in on the back end there now. Little bit of earthiness, but it's light and it's muted. That works for me because, as I said last week, on that live when I had a West Coast pale of my own making. Well, no, I didn't make it. I just helped. Yeah, as I was saying to somebody at the weekend, I'm like, I'm not kind of biased towards any particular beer. If I don't like it, I'll say it. But I will also say whether it's a good beer in itself or not. This one feels decent, holds up well, got plenty of body to it, although there's a slight kind of mineral water edge, only very slight on the back end there, but generally jolly solid pale ale. Double version of that, and Hop Fiends would be all over it. I say it's quite light at 3.4, but I'm not a big fan of cycling home after heavy beers, really. I'm not generally a fan of exercise, although I probably do that a lot more now. The Lime Bike make it easier. Not sure if I'm allowed to mention Lime Bike when I'm talking about Volt, but Volt aren't sponsoring me, so unless Volt want to send me a bike, unusual as though that man is likely to be, I'll talk about Lime Bikes because, yeah, I've been kind of not really abusing. They've been mugging me off, to be fair, with those line passes. But yeah, I've done a lot of cycling this year. It's kind of my main kind of exercise now, probably more so than walking, because I just quite enjoy a good cycle to work and back. Not as much fun as driving, obviously, but yeah, cycling. When it's just me, I don't own a car. I do drive. It's all the brewery driving. But not to can off. I've got to clear these cans up, man. They're getting too many. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the old electric bikes. The legal ones, of course. But yeah, there we go. And that's certainly a decent one to come and have a nice refresher after some exercise. Definitely all about beer post-exercise rather than before or during. But this one, yeah, would I buy it again? I'm not quite sure in the circumstances that I would, because, well, if I saw it in a pub, if I had, at some point, if I do get my own electric bike and can get free of the line bike area, which doesn't even extend up to the disco arms, I have to walk a mile for that. But if I did get me an electric bike here, I've got some plans to do a bit of cycling. So if I cycled as far as Hemel Hempstead and saw this on the tap for a pint, it's quite a long way. So it would take me the best part of 2 hours to cycle to Hemel Hempstead. Maybe if I cycled to Watford for the tap room and I saw it and I wanted a nice refreshing pint post ride, then it's kind of ideal, I think. It kind of hits the spots. Yeah, it's got all the right notes. Say those fruity flavors, a lot of juiciness, good body on it, touch of pine, touch of bitterness, just on the back end there, floating around, but generally pretty well balanced and refreshing. As always, nice one, Mad Squirrel. Cheers. I'm, of course, looking forward to the other Mad Squirrel beers in that pack. Probably a bit more than this one, to be fair. Certainly, that Viennese Well Stout is very much my kind of thing, but it's good to try. So if that's what Nectaron is, if that's kind of the start of my journey or discovery, as it were, of single hopped beers, it's a pretty good start. Quite like Nectaron. I guess the more Nectaron you throw at something, that grapefruit comes a little bit through a little bit later, maybe. But that kind of slight peachiness and light citrus kind of notes, yeah, kind of works for me. Excuse me. Oh, done this wrong. Yeah, totally messed up the start. That's why I've got two starts to this soap. But there you go. But for now, beer number 2, please. Well, beer number 2 will be along in a minute, but for now, I've got another unboxing. Beer number 2, as you see down there, I'll change the banner, will be from Amity Brew Co. Up in Yorkshire. Actually, I got this one out. Is this one Festoon a Black, a 4.6% black lager. Normally I would start on lagers, but I'm not going to get that out. But I will show, just for the fun, a second unboxing, because these did actually arrive last week. Let's see what I need. Yeah, nicely decorated. What's the word? And it's got its own logos on it. Yeah. Stickers, always good. Might put it up and down. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why, they sent me a pump clip, which is great, but it's not a beer that I actually had. In fact, it's probably the wrong one, a West Coast pair at 3.8%. But it looks good. Love a little pump clip. I'd refer it to some of the pump clips. Needless to say, I did not get this beer, being a West Coast. Now, let me see. Oh, yeah. Right, yeah, so there's the other Festoon Black I'm going to drink it. So, yeah, started quite big. Now, let's start quite light with that one because I know what it is. Lemoncello. It's called Heads with Wolf Brothers, which is a gin company. Another 3.4%. Lemoncello Light Lager, which kind of, yeah, something a little bit different, I think. But I like lemon, so I thought that would be quite a good way of doing it. Quite a good one to try. Yeah, don't know why not. Right, also, Amity seem to be into some big stouts at the moment. This one's a big imperial stout called the Proximity at 11%. Don't need a 440 and 11% stouts. But I thought, well, I only got these beers in for one particular beer. Then I saw another particular beer that I thought I might as well get. This is the particular beer that I went for. It's called Amethyst Grand Cru. Now they've got one called Amethyst, and it is an 8.4% Imperial Plum Porter. Now, as long-term fans of this show, we used to call it show, will know, big fans of Plum Porter. And at some point, I mean to go around and try all the other Plum Porters. I've only had one or two, right? Obviously, not just the Titanic one. So, been looking at Amity for quite a while. I never quite got around to getting any of this stuff. And I've been, for a while, looking at Amethyst because it's a Plum Porter. So I've gone for the double version to start with, and maybe I'll pick up the other one because that wasn't available. Otherwise, I would have done a side-by-side. So, yeah, a Plum Porter, Imperial Plum Porter, definitely my kind of thing. Something else is my kind of thing, but at 12%, a collab with the mighty Imperial Stout legends that are Emperors, a tiramisu Imperial Stout. God knows when I'm going to get around to that one. I've still got the Palpatine in there. Should give it to Rasco, really. But yeah, a 12% Imperial Stout, sessionable, and 11% Imperial Stout. Yeah, 12 parsecs, that's called. So all these available on the website. Well, I'll go and have a look at the website in a moment. I'll see what else I picked up. Whilst I was there, new glass in what I think is my favourite shape. But now, I'm not so sure. Is that the same glass? No. It's a very similar shape. Slightly taller, looks slightly chunkier and wider. But it's roughly the right shape. And it's got fairly inoffensive logos on it. So, oh well. Is it nucleated? Oh yeah, it's a nucleated glass, which is fine because I've got a black lager to go into it. So let's get this into a glass and see what we get. I've got quite a lot of dark lagers in, so to rush this one through is a bit naughty because I've got, again, that's another stream I plan just to talk about black lagers and dark lagers. Not sure the difference between a black lager and a dark lager. I imagine a black lager is even darker, maybe stronger. So it gives it, nucleation on that glass gives it a nice, strong, bubbly head on the pour. And there's the balance. Let's see if I can make that come out properly. Put the screen down because doing a dark can with a dark beer is going to be difficult in this light. See if that works. Nice. Not nice. No, that didn't work at all. Going to give that another go. One of them will be alright. Sometimes they get a bit too fussy. Yeah, that one works. Again, got something like now and here. Somehow, at some point. Yeah, I'll plug the right one in. Stand it up before I knock it. So that'll happen. So yeah, kind of expecting another fairly easy drinking beer on this one, despite it being a dark lager. We've got one at the bar at the moment. As it's called Black Dollar Pills. It is a solid gateway into the stouts, so I'm hoping that's what will happen here as well. Like the glass savvy pour, great head development. Looks like it's staying around as well. Sometimes lagers can go a bit kind of bubbly and dissipate fairly quick. Let's have a sniff. It's got that strong kind of cocoa and coffee note on the nose that's some kind, and it's perilously close to being kind of coffee grinds. Coffee grinds can be a bit kind of like when you leave a tea bag in the tea too long, it gets a bit stewed. And I always find coffee grounds kind of a little bit stewed, bordering on compost. And this one's got a little bit of that. That doesn't mean it's a bad beer. That just means the coffee grinds are good, I guess. Interesting. Anyway, cheers and enjoy the beers. This is Amity. Festoon Black, it's called, a 4.6% dark lager. Yeah, I keep getting confused. Dark lager and black lager. Black lager should have some roastiness to it. Yeah, absolutely. This one, definitely a touch of roastiness. Definitely a touch of kind of that coffee bean kind of red curranty fruitiness as well, which is odd, but not unpleasant. Yeah, coffee grind aroma is taxing, but the flavour is there, definitely. A touch of burnt toast. Greetings, by the way, Shock. Happy damn Monday. Maybe we had a great weekend and a good start to the week. But yeah, I should have some roastiness to it. This one definitely does. It's quite. I wouldn't say. Ooh. No, it's not thin. It's got a slight chunkiness to the body. I tell you what, it compares to that Mad Squirrel one, the Baltic Porter Dark Tides. That was very similar to a dark lager, although it's a Baltic Porter. It's quite light at 5.6 and definitely had some much more coffee notes. This one has got the roastiness of coffee rather than being out and out coffee, which is okay. So yeah, that roasted coffee kind of note without being out and out coffee. Not much on the cocoa or the chocolate, and a kind of sort of burnt toasty kind of note. Not unpleasant though. I don't mind burnt toast in a beer. It sort of enhances that kind of roasty kind of note, I think. Cheers. Yeah, I wanted to roasted malt. Let's have a look then in that case. It's a great shout. We'll have a look at the date first, even though we know full well this is going to be in date because it's only arrived last week. Nothing on the bottom. There we go. We can get a can date. Guile 338. Really? I thought it'd been going longer than that. We're on Guile like 306 years, but there you go. Canned October 2025, best before October 2026. Let's see. Amity Brew Co. stands for Community, Friendship, and Good Beer. Founded by good friends over a mutual love of classic beer styles whilst experimenting with new techniques. Amity, a modern approach to classic beers. Amity, I think, is like. Let's have a look what Amity means. I think Amity is kind of odd name, but I think it's like an area. It's like a. What do they call them? Wapentakes in Yorkshire. Counties divided up into other subdivided areas. Anyway, geography for you. Black lager, dark, black, and roasty. Well, yeah, didn't mention the colour, but there it is. Definitely nice and dark. definitely black all the way down. In fact, there's not even a hint of any kind of dark brown mahogany or red on the bottom of that. A welcome return for our black lager, Festoon Black, this time in partnership with the International Salford Beer Festival. Forgot to mention that. Sorry about that, Salford. This perfect autumnal ode to drinkability sings with a toasty dark chocolate and carafa malt base, but then fermented cold and longer with lager yeast to provide a super suppable sipper. ISBF 25 is doing good things. Oh, I see. Right, in an International Salford Beer Festival, not-for-profit event, all profits going to start inspiring minds in Salford. So there you go. That's the answer. Chocolate and carafa malt base. Doesn't say about anything else. So maybe there's more. Bound to be a bunch of pale as well. But yeah, 4.6%. Definitely on the roasty side. So you got that kind of, I don't want to say it's out and out coffee or any particular kind of coffee. There's no kind of espresso notes. It's just a kind of noticeable roastiness. So it's got a kind of light-ish in terms of drinkability, but it's definitely got a bit of body. It's a little bit more kind of slightly hot chocolate kind of sweetness coming through without actually being hot chocolate. Not quite jamminess, but yeah, that roastiness builds as well coming through. Carafa will give you the notes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Carafa. I have a long history with using Carafa malt because 12 years ago I brewed a dark Czech lager and kind of insisted on putting Carafa in because to make it a dark and a couple of others, which was with Pilsner Urquell. The story I've never ever got into a video. So yeah, love a bit of Carafa malt. Big friends. Let's have a quick look on the website. Yeah, straight into the shop. Lots of deals and bundles. I picked this up at a nominal Black Friday deal, but they were doing individual cans reduced as well. So they've got a lot of kind of Christmassy bundles there. Mixtape. I doubt you actually get a mixtape with it. No, it's just a design of the pack of a cassette. Whatever, if I could read, I'll tell you what, I had a bad thing the other day. Trying to check a guy's ID on the bar. He gave me his driver license. I couldn't find the date. It was far too small. I've got to go get my eyes tested. Right, well, there we go. There's the ones I did get. Proximity and Amethyst Grand Cru Imperial Plum Porter. Didn't get the Blonde Ale or the American Pale Ale. Tried to keep it light. I got too many beers in. There's the two I did get. Water Pistol, I think, is the regular Juicy Pale. There's the 12 Parsecs Tiramisu. Imperial Stout, got to be 12%. In collaboration with Emperor's Brewery, doing the big Imperial Stouts. I did briefly think about getting that, the second one in there. There's that Pismo one they sent me a pumpkin for a beer I haven't got. Did briefly think about that Neil Raptor collab, Peach Cobbler Fruited Sour, but I got so many sours in at the moment, I'm just never getting round to. I had to I would normally pick up a Heller's Lager as make weights as well, but yeah. Wanted to have a look at the story. Christmas shop and venues. So they've got a tap room in Farsley, in Yorkshire, and as well as one at their brewery. Nice. Bradford and Farsley. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to find out what Amity meant. Oh, okay. Well, according to AI, amity means friendly relations, harmony, or peaceful association between nations or groups, stemming from the Latin amicus, as in amicable. I've never heard that as a word. It's in the dictionary as friendly relations. I've heard of amicable, but not amity. Well, there you go. Who says beer isn't educational? Just learnt a new word after 49 years on this planet that I was already aware of as a name. But there you go. Amity. Cheers. Some people find, I think, dark lagers a bit too much when you get too heavy into the coffee and chocolate notes. Chocolate notes are different. Coffee, a lot of people don't like coffee necessarily. Find dark lagers, I think, too much. This one, like I say, is not heavy on the coffee. It's definitely got those kind of darker, roastier notes, say more burnt toast and a side of coffee. There's really not a heavy, strong coffee note on this, which I don't mind. I don't mind coffee. The only time I drink cold coffee really is in beer. Well, tiramisu, I suppose. I'm not a big fan of cold or iced coffees, but if it's in beer, it's all right. It hurts. I'm learning something new. I know, we're too old for that shit, aren't we? People think the dark lagers will be the same as the macro, just dark. Okay, yeah, I guess. You don't really see too much dark lager in macros because, yeah, macro lager drinkers just drink macro lager, really. I often think, obviously, apart from the occasional Czech dark lager, you know, your big lager producers, UK, Germany, Czech, I suppose France. Yeah, just oddly don't tend to do that. There's only, I mean, there's a lot more now, but traditionally and back in the day, lagers were light, stouts were dark. So, but yeah, people I think slowly coming round. That said, for a number of years, I would be drinking macro lagers, not because I didn't know any different, just because sometimes the sort of pubs I frequented, that was all they had, and it was at least drinkable. I drink differently now to back then, and I'm talking only, you know, slightly over 10 years ago, maybe. Started off drinking real ales, but I didn't fully find a particular real ale. Like I say, apart from going to Wetherspoons, and there was a lot of stuff that I did, like, oh, talking about that, I've got another Wetherspoons story I forgot to mention. But yeah, so I was drinking the sort of pubs where macro lagers were the thing, but they weren't entirely my thing. And then about, I don't know, 10 years ago, apart from heavy Guinness drinking, yeah, I kind of faded away from macro lagers. And certainly about 6 years ago, I was heavily into would never have a macro lager unless I was driving, in which case I might shandy it. I remember drinking Budvar Dark, good 15 years or so ago, and I thought it was a revelation at that point, and then didn't go back to it for a long, long time. So to find me drinking lager, craft lager, I was a little surprised that it wasn't quite what I thought it was. Like I say, 12 years ago, I did that collab kind of brew kind of thing with Pilsner Urquell, that pub, and that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to lager, that it's not this completely different beast. It's not this like big macro lack of quality thing. Then I started getting to Czech lagers, of course, like, so you've got the quality there as well. But I find it's essentially the same brewing process, just a slightly different yeast, and then there's the lagering process kind of thing. So it's no surprise that I probably prefer darker lagers, black lagers, and also prefer pilsners if I'm going to go light. But there you go. But yeah, this one, solid, quite light. It's cold at the moment, so talking of which, bear with me a sec. But yeah, solid black lager, really drinkable. Got some nice notes. I don't think it's the best because I don't think there's that coffee note. I'd prefer a little bit more coffee, maybe. But that's just for me. I would say like what I prefer flavor wise, but jolly solid lager, to be fair. And easily smashable as well. Quite. There's a bit of fizz, but it feels well carbonated, but it's not really fizzy in the glass. But there's a bit of gas in there, which makes it slightly less chuggable, maybe. But and I'm trying to get it down because I've been waffling on for nearly an hour. I really want to get onto this final stout. Nice from Amity. Jolly solid Yorkshire beer. Jolly solid dark lager, black lager as well. That's what I was going to talk about. It's probably too late now. Talking about the reason I went to Wetherspoons. Picked up a pack of these today. Top Trumps. Don't know how that goes down in America, but anybody remember Top Trumps from back in the day, from their childhood? I can't work out how to get into them. I'm going to show them. Oh, there we go. Comes in a nice little pack. £9 charity thing. Full Wetherspoons. They're behind the bar. They're also on the app. Nice little carrying case. Well tidy. So I want to see what's in there. So yeah, I don't know how Wetherspoons Top Trumps work, to be fair. I imagine it's simply a bunch of Wetherspoons and stats about Wetherspoons. So let's see what we get for the first one. I'm kind of amused. First one is the Red Lion at Gatwick. Probably one of the dullest airport Wetherspoons. The Red Lion tucked away in Gatwick South Terminal, one I've actually been to, is where bleary-eyed travellers unite with a full English breakfast and coffee and a pint, let's be honest, if you're there at 6 in the morning. Proper pub vibes, there's that word vibes again. Speedy service and one last takeoff. One last taste of Britain before takeoff. Opened in 1994. Yeah, so these stats are year opened, fundraising total. I don't know what for, I'd have to read the instructions. Who does that? Pub size, 581 foot, so not the biggest. That'd be interesting to find what the biggest. I'm probably never going to play these, so I'm just going to read them out. Steps to the toilet. That's a great little self own, isn't it? Top Trumps rating 23. I don't know how they managed that. But yeah, there's your Top Trumps. Anybody fancy a game, let me know. I'll have a go. But yeah. I don't really want to sit. I'd like to briefly see if the pub I got them from is in it, because I genuinely think the Greenwood is one of the best in the country. Certainly for aesthetic. It's an old, pub in Metroland, but it is a very nicely done, tastefully done up in the, It's built in the 30s, so it's that nice kind of Art Deco kind of style. I was going to do a video, but I got a load of things to add, and as you know, I'm not really doing videos very well at the moment, so I'd be disappointed if it wasn't, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so there you go. Anybody fancy a game of Wetherspoons Top Trumps? I really annoy Rasco. He's still got the hump with Wetherspoons, even though his beloved Anspach and Hobday actually have beers and cans in Wetherspoons. Talking of Anspach and Hobday, that's not going to work. That's not going to work now. I've taken them out of the blinking packaging, so let's just dump them in there and not worry about it. Move on, Disco. Move on. Yeah, so Wetherspoons Top Trumps, hey? Anyway, beer number 3, please. And beer number 3 is the long-awaited, the last beer order I got in, actually, last month now. It's a collab, as I was saying earlier, between Salopian Brewery up in Shropshire, Shrewsbury, and their collab with Anspach and Hobday. It was Anspach and Hobday. Do you know what? I asked them once and I still cannot remember, but Anspach and Hobday, and it's a 6% Black Forest Stout. So I've been kind of looking forward to this one, so let's get it in the glass and see what a Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte kind of vibes we get off of this one. Yes, Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. I have a few bits of German I can confidently pronounce, which is Black Forest Gatto. Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. So a absolutely beautiful pour, very dark, good head development, but it's quite bubbly. Don't know whether that's going to dissipate. So we've got the balance on. Let's do the photograph before we forget. So a touch thin on that head development, which is annoying. Let's move that out of the way. Yeah, the head has dissipated early, which for a Black Forest Gatto, well, it doesn't actually say Gatto, so there's no cakiness necessarily. Obviously, trying to get it to balance so I can actually see the writing. Oh, I think I've ballsed it. No, I think I've nosed it up. No, there we go. Happy days. However, give it a little shake to actually get a shout of it. So yeah, a little disappointed in that thing. I'm actually going to do. There you go. That looks a bit better. I mean, it dissipated fairly quickly. You saw it in live and real terms, real time rather. Let's get the McColl's logo in since I'm using their glass. Might as well. Oh, why can't shit just work, man? Yeah, well, it's there or thereabouts. Can't quite get all of the. Can't quite get all of the naming because it kind of goes around the edge of the can, but never mind. It's there or thereabouts. And I've been looking forward to this one. I was going to do. Once again, I was going to do a separate standalone video, but I was just going to run out of time. So I thought I'd put it in tonight anyway. Well, Miss Wilson, happy now Monday. Thanks for popping in. Hope you've had a great weekend. And oh yeah, moved the cans, didn't I? That's why. Yeah, I had a great weekend and a good start to the week. I've had three more cheeky little beers because, as you might have seen, I popped up Wetherspoons this afternoon for a couple of slurps and a pack of top trumps, believe it or not. And yeah, now we're on to this one, 6%. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with that head development. I mean, it's been sitting in my stash for all of 2-3 weeks, so it's been upright. So it's not like it's like, yeah, for Black Forest Stout, I want a nice, thick, chunky, creamy kind of head, really. Let's have a little sniff anyway. Hey, yeah. Hallelujah, brother. I know that feeling very much. Plodding along, mate, you're getting on with it, you know. That's all you can do. Bear me a second. I want to sniff this properly. Right, I hope that helps. Right, so, yeah, Black Forest. So I'm expecting lots of chocolate, lots of cherries. There's a definite fruitiness there. It's not heavy on the cakiness. There's a little bit of spirit to it. Cheers, let's have a look. The cakiness is there, or thereabouts, in a kind of slightly dark chocolate edge. It's kind of, it's got the right kind of slight sour cherry note. I prefer sweet cherries in my Black Forest Gatto, but I'm told it should be kind of sharp or tart cherries. Since we used the word vibes a lot earlier, it's got a slight Titanic plum pudding vibe about it, which is odd. It's a decent enough stout, fairly light, as that head dissipation might suggest. Not unpleasant by any means. It's just sort of, it's there or thereabouts. I think as it warms, it will get thicker. Bit more cherry coming through on the very back palate there now. It's getting better. It's not a great start with that head dissipation. Although, yeah, no, I was going to say, look, did you see that? I thought great lacing and slight alcohol legs, and then it dissipated again. That actually said dead in the lacing. Oh, that was just me, maybe. Now I've got a frog. So there's reasonable conditioning to it, but it just doesn't stay. It just dissipates. Yeah, I think if you're going to do a Black Forest Stout, it wants to be kind of fairly chunky. It wants to be kind of have some cakey thickness. I don't think there's enough oats in it to give it that kind of chunky thickness. When you go into it thinking, oh, that'd be great, and you get a bit disappointed. Best before 26th of the 12th, 2026. Say bought 2 weeks ago, so bound to be in date. Serve cool, drink fresh. I definitely have done that. Oats, cocoa, and cherry in the ingredients, so it is there. Right, a dark and decadent stout brewed with our friends Anspach and Hobday. Rich layers of chocolate meet sharp bursts of cherry. That's fair. Tempting you deeper with every sip. When it is getting better. Cocoa husks from land chocolate lend bold, bittersweet depth, carried on a silky, full-bodied mouthfeel. Smooth, indulgent, and effortlessly Moorish. Well, it's not been in the fridge, so it's not too cold. Maybe it's just, well, it's not room temperature cold. It's my probably slightly cold side cupboard beer stash cold. So it's one that I don't fully agree with that. What did they call it? Deliciously thick. A dark and decadent stout. Or dark, yes. Really decadent. Silky, full-bodied mouthfeel. I mean, it came straight out of the brewery, straight out of Salopian, and it's only really sat in my stash since. I'm not going with full-bodied. I can't use the term full-bodied for that. It's more, I mean, that dark lager, that black lager had a fuller body than this. Although around the edges now, like I say, it's developing. There is a slight cakey note now. It's more chocolate muffin than dark and decadent Black Forest Ghetto. They don't use the word ghetto. They don't use the word cake. But they do use the word decadent and silky, full-bodied mouthfeel. Touch of chocolate and coffee coming through very later on the palate there. I wanted it to be so much more. I thought it would be. Don't do Salopian very often. Like I say, that's why I kind of dived in and got some others as well. I did that a few weeks ago on the reveal. Yeah, it's not like way off or terrible. It's just not quite. It's not quite there for me. It's when you've got that expectation. It's like Henry said at the start. For 20, looking forward to that one. This one, and I kind of maybe look forward to it too much. I think it's getting better as it goes. I don't think it's going to warm that much here. This room isn't really warm at the best of times this time of year, but yeah, I think it's a late developer. It's kind of feels like it's bulking up. It's got a slight, very slight Kirsch kind of edge to it. Fairly sticky kind of cherry jam sweetness. And black lager, no, I don't think it did, because I don't think it had. No, as I said, I think it's kind of a gateway, because I don't think as a black lager it wasn't full roasty coffee toastiness, but it was there or thereabouts. It was quite nice. But what I'm looking for in this one is more about the body, more about that cakiness. If you're going to call it a stout Black Forest, it kind of implies gatto for me. Maybe it's just me, and I want it to be that kind of cakier, kind of thicker, full-bodied thing on the palate. But for me, it's got a bit of thinness. That's not thin. That's unfair. What's the word? It's the silky decadence I'm missing. It's not. I mean, I know what I'm expecting when I have a cakey kind of gatto kind of stout. I want that thickness. I want those kind of oats to kind of be heavy. And it's more jammy thickness than cakey thickness, I think. The cherry is there; it's present. You can kind of get it. It's like I say, there's a kind of slight kirsch outer, and it's quite sticky, quite sweet, but it's not got a cakey in the mouthfeel, that cakey thickness like a mouthful of chocolate, cherry chocolate gâteau, Schwarzwald Kirschtorte. I've had Schwarzwald Kirschtorte in the Schwarzwald, in the Black Forest, and I still think of it as sweet cherry. So the sweet cherry flavour here for me is really good. Like I said, it's slight sharp, almost sour cherry note as well. Yeah, it's one to and again I'm disappointed by the lack of it wasn't lack of head development, the lack of head retention. I want it if I'm going to have a thick, silky, like creamy, cakey mouthfeel. I want a thick, creamy head development and head retention as well on a stout like that. Feels like it needs to be some kind of. They need to have brought their London back nitro skills to this to make it thicker and creamier. And well, you know my thoughts on London Black. I haven't, as much as I love Anspach and Hobday. I'm not going to go into that one. But yeah, really like Anspach and Hobday. I don't get to them enough. Even less I get to Salopian. I see them again. It's another Salopian I'm sure I've seen in Wetherspoons, but not recently. I've certainly seen them in other pubs when I get out and about, but you don't see them in London very often, so I wouldn't get any of them around here. So that's again a reason I kind of pulled the trigger on the order and got a little package in. It's only a 6-pack. I do have another one of these, so I'm not quite sure. I did vaguely have notes of, Christmas gift for Rasko. Here's an Anspach and Hobday beer. I bet he hasn't had. Maybe. I'm sure he'd let me know if he did. But yeah, so I've got another one. So maybe I'll give it another go, or maybe I'll give it to Rasko, see what he thinks. But a little nonplussed, I think. It's not as good as I was expecting. It's not terrible, it's not way off. It's just hasn't quite got that. Oh, I hope you didn't pick that up. It's not quite as together as I want it to be, although it is getting better. Like I say, jammy, sweet cherry jam thickness, not a cakey thickness, but there is a little bit of cake coming through later as it may be warmed slightly. It's there or thereabouts now. It's kind of, it's still not silky decadence that they talk of. I mean, to be fair, there's a fair amount of carbonation on it that kind of helps probably with the slight thinness initially of the mouthfeel, but you can regen the head fairly easily, but then it looks promising and then dissipates fairly quickly. I'm literally watching the top of it now just fade back to black. Moorish is probably a reasonable description because I keep going back because I want to find those flavors again. I want to find more. I'm waiting for it to thicken up and come with that kind of cherry. I want a dark black cherry kind of sweetness in my Black Forest Gâteau. I think if you call it Black Forest, I don't know. I think I'd be tempted. A Black Forest Gâteau, I think I'd be tempted to chuck a bit of lactose at it and call it a milk stout to assimilate the kind of cream. Black Forest Gâteau, nice, very rich, decadent chocolate cake, sponge, plenty of cream, and that kind of sweet cherry note. And I think it's missing the lactose, which also helps a little bit, I think, with the thickness of it. It's better now. it's kind of there or thereabouts now. I think I've given it that thing of being too overexcited about it, expecting really big things, and it's kind of fallen a little short initially, but it's getting there now. It's getting there now. That chocolate, rich roasty chocolate, is coming through. I take Shark's point that coming off a dark lager, if it doesn't go richer and darker initially, it's kind of. I don't think it's messed up my palate. I don't think it's. Yeah, I think it's a gateway rather than messing up my palate for this. This is getting better. On the back end, it's kind of got that richness now. It's got that kind of. It still hasn't got that thick, cakey kind of silkiness, voluptuousness. It's more jammy sweetness. Good sweetness, by the way. A lot of people. It's not too sweet for me, but it's definitely moreish because I'm going back to try and find that cakiness. There's like a little Kirsch edge as well, so like, very light Kirsch, cherry liqueur type cherry brandy edge, which I like, which works. But yeah, it's sort of it's not a miss, but it's not a hit. It's kind of aimed high, or I've aimed it high, and it's not quite got there. But also, it's not horrendous. It's not terrible by any means. It's just initially hasn't quite hit the mark for me, which I find really difficult to say, to be fair. Sorry, I don't understand this statement. Not a cherry fan. Not a cherry fan. It's like Bob from Hobday. He always says he doesn't like cherry. Don't understand it. Sorry, Mr. Wilson. Tight to your opinion, but totally wrong. Well, it's like me saying I don't like grapefruit. So fair play. Nah. Yeah, if you don't like cherries, don't like cherries. I love cherries. I love cherries, and I love cherry beer. Yeah, I mean, I did say it initially. It was like reminiscent of exactly. I was disco queen. Touche, fair play. Exactly. You know what I mean? Horses for courses, isn't it? I'm surprised you didn't say dashes a grapefruit at full speed towards Disco's head, like smacks Disco around the head with a grapefruit beanbag. But yeah, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's fair. Yeah. Well, with that, I think. Yeah, it's weird. It's sort of like it's not an anticlimax. It's not an underwhelming. It's just a not quite as expected. Could have been better, but actually perfectly decent now down the back end. As stouts go, yeah, I want thicker, more voluptuous, possibly a milk stout to go with my Black Forest. But there you go. Because it was haven't been seen Salopian for so long, and because it was, I still love to know how Anspach and Hobday end up collabing with what an eminent craft brewery in Anspach and Hobday, and an eminent, probably more traditional brewery, although they are going towards craft, getting into 440 cans, doing collabs. So, cherry grapefruit. Yeah, well, yeah, a grapefruit stout. No, thank you. Having said that, I get Black Forest slice as part of a Too Good to Go bag from Stout. I've never done Too Good to Go. I should do that really, apart from beers. There you go. You got to try these things. You might be right. You might be surprised. Maybe like me, I just assume I don't like certain things. But yeah, definitely don't like grapefruit. But yeah, I've been talking about it for 20 minutes, half hour. And it's getting better as it goes. So, yeah, I think I was too critical to start with. Maybe I should have waited a bit. I say that head. There's certainly a bit of alcohol legs on it at 6%. And the head is easily reinvigorated, but fairly quickly dissipates. Yeah, it's just one I saw. I think I saw it somewhere on Instagram. Can't remember where from. Might have been Salopian. I don't know. But yeah, really interesting. I would definitely drink it again. I say I've got a second can, so if I saw a pint of it somewhere, I'd 100% give it a go. I presume Salopian a fairly cask-led brewery, so if I saw a pint on cask in a pub somewhere, it's never going to happen. But yeah, if I did, I would absolutely try it again. Just, certainly on cask, a bit warmer initially. I think that kind of cakey goodness, I always just use the hashtag cakey goodness or chocolatey goodness. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Don't drink a black. Maybe I did make that mistake. I thought a black lager would be a gateway into a stronger stout. I've managed to go up the ABV as well today, just purely coincidentally. 34466. Yeah, I know. I disagree slightly that a black lager will kill the palate. It's kind of coffee and chocolate, although that one wasn't that much coffee. No, I think it's about the temperature. It's getting better and thicker now. Yeah, I'm still not sold on the silky decadence that they claim, but yeah, it's a fair point. Maybe. That's what I'm saying, more than I do. Anyway, so yeah, that's a full set of 3 of the most recent beers into the beer stash. 3 in-date beers for a Monday night, for a Monday Club. Thank you very much to everybody for joining me for these beers. Maybe more tomorrow. I might do an early stream if I can sort it out in the morning. I've got lots of other things to do tomorrow, including sorting out some cheese for the quiz on Sunday, Christmas quiz up at the brewery. So if I can sort some beers out, I will try. But thank you, gentlemen, for chiming in and joining us for a beer. Whether you've got a beer on or not on a Monday night. Thanks to everybody else. And if you're watching after the event, after the live, it's still available. Thank you very much indeed. Firstly, please comment below, down here somewhere, depending on the device. And whilst you're down there, click like and subscribe and all that jazz when you've done it once tonight. And until maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, certainly not Wednesday, maybe Thursday, if not tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Disco of Just Disco Beer Reviews, doing another set of live beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. And I'm still nostalgically calling the Disco Arms. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Disco out. Well, I will do when I can find the outro. See you somewhere. Talk amongst yourselves. Or talk at me, I don't mind. Where's it gone? I saw it there. Cheers all. Night.